Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're sort of tackling something that seems small but really isn't. Can sentences have like more than one main thing right at the start?
Exactly. We're looking at sources that discuss this idea of multiple specifiers.
Multiple specifiers. Sounds technical.
It is a bit, but the core idea is simple. Can you have more than one element in that initial structural position in a phrase or sentence? Our mission is to explore the big questions around this.
Okay. So what are these specifiers roughly, and how do you get more than one?
Well, think of a specifier like an introducer for a phrase, like the in the cat. Multiple specifiers means you might have, structurally speaking, room for more than one introducer. How it happens is tied to how flexible the sentence structure is.
Right. So are all parts of a sentence equally flexible? Can any phrase just decide to have two these, metaphorically speaking?
No, not quite like that. It seems to be more common in the higher levels of sentence structure, things like the CP and TP, the parts dealing with the overall clause type and tense.
CP and TP. Okay, the big picture parts.
Yeah, the ones that connect the sentence to the discourse or anchor it in time, they seem to be the prime candidates for allowing these multiple elements up front.
So if you can have multiple topics or subjects, say, is there a rule for how they line up? Is it just random?
Usually not random, no. There's often a kind of hierarchy. One might be the main topic, others might be secondary, providing context. The ordering can reflect that.
Interesting. Is this something we see across different languages? Or is it maybe just an oddity in a few?
Oh, it's definitely cross-linguistic. While it might be subtle or debated in English, you see clearer evidence in languages like, say, Korean or Japanese, and even some Slavic languages.
So not just an English quirk.
Definitely not. It suggests this capacity might be, a more fundamental option in human language design than we might initially think.
Okay, this feels like it bumps up against the traditional models. I remember learning about X-bar theory, which seemed pretty neat, one slot, one element.
Right. And that's the tension. Standard X-bar theory likes that one-to-one mapping. One head, one complement, one specifier. Multiple specifiers really complicate that picture.
How so? Does it break the model or just stretch it?
It forces revisions. Linguists debate whether it means a single structural position can host multiple things, or maybe the structure itself is layered differently than the basic X-bar schema suggests.
And these multiple specifiers, if you have them,
Mm-hmm.
are they all structurally equal? Or is there like an inner one and an outer one?
There's good evidence they can be ordered hierarchically. So, yes, you could think of it as layers, maybe an outer topic, then a slightly more integrated one, before you get to the main subject, perhaps.
Okay, I saw the term edge features mentioned. What are those about? How they fit in?
Edge features are sort of like special properties on the edge, or beginning of a phrase. The idea is that these features attract elements to move to that initial position.
Like a magnet.
Kind of, yeah. And if a phrase's edge has multiple such features, or a feature that can be checked multiple times, it could potentially attract more than one element. That's one way to account for multiple specifiers.
And this links up with phase theory, right? How does that connection work?
Right. Phase theory views sentence building as happening in chunks or phases. The edges of these phases are really important communication points. So having multiple specifiers might be related to loading up that phase edge with all the necessary information before the phase is sort of sent off for interpretation.
Makes sense, like packing everything needed at the door before you leave. But are there languages that just don't do this, that stick rigidly to one specifier?
It appears so. Some languages seem much stricter and don't readily allow these multiple specifier configurations, at least not in the same way others do. This linguistic variation is actually really informative.
How so?
It shows there isn't just one way to build a sentence. Languages find different solutions for packaging information.
Okay, last main point, locality. How does throwing extra elements at the front affect how things relate across the sentence?
Yeah.
Doesn't it make it harder for things further down to see what they need to agree with?
It definitely can, yes. It complicates locality conditions, the principle that related elements generally need to be close to each other structurally. If you have multiple things sitting in that initial specifier zone, you need a more nuanced theory to explain which one interacts with what and why. It pushes us to refine our understanding of syntactic distance.
Wow. Okay, so what seems like a simple question, can we have two things here, really spirals out.
It absolutely does. The idea of multiple specifiers challenges core assumptions, highlights cross-linguistic patterns, and forces us to think harder about the balance between flexibility and constraints in grammar.
It's that aha moment, realizing the complex machinery under even simple-looking sentences.
Precisely. It shows how dynamic sentence structure can be.
So wrapping up, we've seen that multiple specifiers touch on everything from basic phrase structure to how languages differ. Here's a final thought to leave you with. Could the tendency for a language to use, or not use, multiple specifiers tell us something subtle about how its speakers prioritize or structure information in their discourse? Something to ponder.
Definitely food for thought.
Thanks for exploring this deep dive with us today.